Good evening, folks. This here is Maynard Bullfrog Watkins of WERD Radio in Tangiapahoa, Louisiana. 1300 on your radio dial, but for you, 1298, with another Tangiapahoa translation of the Bible verses you have learned to love. Tonight's translation is brought to you by Frenchy McGraw's Fine Dining Emporium and Bake Shop, where the only time you have to worry is when your spaghetti crawls off your plate. Tonight we have another interesting take on a most familiar verse, thanks to our good friend, old Lazybones Tippy-Toe. You see, it was like this. Mrs. Tippy-Toe got a phone call from a friend who told her that while Lazybones was out of town on a fishing trip, he was spending time with a good-looking woman that was not Mrs. Tippy-Toe. Well, she called her sister, and together they made their way all the way down to Lafayette to the Twist and Shout. Now, normally that's a 2-hour drive, but the girls made it in just a little over an hour. Sure enough, the missus walked in, and there was old Lazybones with a right good-looking young lady sitting together at a table, and a little closer together than the missus thought necessary. "LB," she said, as that's what she always calls Lazybones for short, "LB, what do you think you're a-doing?" Well, old Lazybones knew that he was mighty close to being in real trouble, so after hesitating for only a moment, he said, "Why, darling, I'm just a-following Scripture." As you can imagine, the missus gave him a look with somewhat of a jaundiced eye, and then said caustically but cautiously, "What Scripture?" Lazybones stood up and put his arm around the missus and said, "Hebrews 13:2, be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares." Now, darling, he finished up, indicating his young table mate with a nod of his head, "don't that stranger look like an angel to you? Well, if you find yourself a-needing to entertain a stranger, make your way over to Frenchy McGraw's Fine Dining Emporium and Bake Shop, where the only time you have to worry is when your spaghetti crawls off your plate.